Wow, there are a lot of things happening right now with 3M, and especially the 3M stock that you need to be aware of. Maybe you've actually received this packet, which includes a letter that really specifies what's going on, and then this prospectus that shows all the details of the transactions that's taking place. Now, that is just a piece of the puzzle here. We need to figure out, is this going to be in your best interest? And in order to do that, we need to know what this is. So this is just from the letter here. It says, the notice of guaranteed delivery for shares of common stock of 3M Company. All shares of common stock of Garden Spinco Corporation, which are owned by 3M Company and will be converted into the rights to receive shares of common stock of Neogen Corporation. Whew, that's a mouthful, and I know you probably have questions, and one of the questions you probably have pertains to what is going on. Well, let's break this down a little bit more, and this is straight from 3M's website. This is part of their press release, and it says 3M Company announced the commencement of an exchange offer to effect the separation of its food safety business with a transaction with Neogen Corporation through the merger of Garden Spinco Corporation, Spinco, currently a wholly owned subsidiary of 3M, formed to hold the food safety business with a subsidiary of Neogen. So what you're seeing here are the different layers that this is really affecting. So we have Garden Spinco and we have Neogen all underneath 3M. So what 3M is going to do is basically going to shed them from the 3M name brand and turn them into their own company. Now, that is what's going to ultimately happen. Now, it goes on to say 3M shareholders have the option to exchange some, all, or none. Remember, this is the option. It does not mean that you're going to be doing it. It does not mean you have to do it. It's the option that you can exchange these shares of your 3M shares, common stock, for shares of common stock of Spinco. So first and foremost, you're going to be transitioning your shares to Spinco if you accept. Then it's going to be a subject to proration. So there's going to be what's called a pro rata amount of shares you will receive for every share of 3M stock that you are giving. Shares of Spinco Corporation Company common stock will convert automatically into the rights to receive shares of Neogen Company stock at the closing of the merger. So it's going to be, again, layered. We start with 3M. If you do accept the tender offer, you will be given shares of the Garden Spinco. That will merge with Neogen and create the new Neogen company in which you will receive shares in ultimately. That is what's going on here. That Neogen, Spinco are going to be merged together. They're going to be creating their own company, and you have the option, if you want to go and dive into the new company that's being offered, or stay with 3M. So all of that is going to be more based upon your situation. So we cannot sit here and say what is going to be right or wrong for you. But what I can say is there are some things that you need to be considering. So when we dive into details here, again, it says that it'll be in exchange for a portion or all of your 3M stock. So that's first thing to know. Second thing to know is that it will convert into Neogen shares at a discount of 7% per share value of Neogen common stock. So you're going to get a benefit to doing this as well. Well, there's going to be some things to consider when you're looking at this. The first one definitely is it going to be a right fit for you? You see, not every new company is going to be the next Amazon or be the next Apple. But on the same lines, this may have a faster growth rate than 3M. So that is something for you to consider, and that's something for you to dive into details, especially when we talk about this prospectus. You see, this is showing the details of the financials, that is showing the details of the performance of the division up to this point and the expectations going forward. Now, knowing that this may be an exciting new endeavor you want to partake in, but there is a however. we do need to know the tax consequences. So that's where we need to dive into the details of the tax consequences. And here's the biggest detail that you need to know. It says the manner in which a parent company, so in this case 3M, structures the spin-off or the divestiture of the, in this case, the subsidiary. So all this big language, 3M is spinning off Garden, Spinco, Neogen. So as it's kind of divesting itself of that and spinning that off, is either a taxable or a tax-free exchange. The taxable status of a spin-off is governed by the Internal Revenue Code, section 355. So the taxability of a spin-off depends on how the parent company structures it. There are two methods for doing it. Now we're going to look at the second option, which is that the parent of an existing shareholder gives the option to exchange the shares in the parent company for an equal proportion of the shares in the spin-off company. Well, again, this is all kind of legalese. Let's dive into the section 355 and we'll highlight the details of what this may mean for you. It says this section 355 transactions are often referred to generally as spin-offs. A spin-off is a pro-rata distribution of stock in the corporation that is controlled by the distribution. And the prior shareholder distribution now owns, it could be the distributing, so 3M shares, and the controlled, or in this case the new Neogen shares. Here's the kicker, what I really want you to understand here, and this is in general, so before I read this, know that you should be talking with your tax accountant as well, because there may be things that pertain to you that may not be part of the generalities here. But it does say, when we take a look at this, there's what's called a carryover of basis. The basis of the stock and the securities in the controlled received by the shareholder of the distributing in section 355 transaction is determined by reference the recipient's basis in the stock and the securities of the distributing. So what this shows is that, again, in general here, that what your basis was in the 3M stock most likely would be a pro rata basis. So again, it would be subject to where you're at in the new stock of Neogen. So this would not be a taxable event to do the exchange. Now again, this is generalities. I want you to make sure and confirm this for your specific situation. But what that also means is that if it does pertain to you, that this is a tax-free event to go from one company to the other, that is great news if you decide to do this as part of your wealth plan. Now, as you can see, there are many things that are going on here. There are many things to crop up. As you have questions about your personal wealth plan and how this pertains to you, please feel free to reach out and we'd be more than happy to talk through your situation and if the new company of Neogen is going to be right for you, or if you should maintain the 3M shares that you currently have. With that, take care, and I'll be looking forward to hearing from you soon.